Have you ever had a dream that felt impossible? Not because you couldn't do it, but because no one around you believed it? The movie Kung Fu Panda starts exactly like that, with a character who wants something so huge it sounds absurd. But the film shows that sometimes the most ridiculous dream is exactly the one you meant to chase. The story opens with Po, a panda with absolutely zero kung fu skills, but an enormous dream of becoming a legendary warrior. He hides that dream because his father, Mr. Ping, has a different path planned for him, taking over the family noodle business. As we meet the legendary Furious Five and see the challenges set by Master Shifu, it becomes glaringly obvious that Po doesn't fit society's idea of a hero. And that's exactly where his true journey begins. He's an outsider, a dreamer, and someone who feels completely out of place. This feeling of not belonging is the first step toward discovering who he is truly meant to be. The movie beautifully introduces a contrast between two ancient philosophies, Confucianism, which focuses on duty, structure, and knowing your place, and Taoism, which encourages flowing naturally with life, embracing the unexpected, and finding your own path. Confucius believed everyone should fulfill their assigned role in a well-ordered society. Taoism, on the other hand, says life is meant to be lived, not forced into a box. Master Shifu and Master Oogway represent these two different perspectives. Shifu is rigid, demanding perfection and adherence to tradition. Oogway is patient, wise, and trusts in the natural unfolding of the universe. Their opposing views create the central philosophical conflict as they prepare for what's coming. When Master Oogway has a vision of the villainous Tai Lung escaping from prison, the message is profound. Some things in life simply can't be controlled. No matter how hard you try to prevent disaster, life sometimes moves in that direction anyway. Oogway emphasizes patience and warns against trying to manipulate the future too much. He knows that our desperate attempts to control everything often create the very problems we are trying to avoid. It's a powerful lesson about accepting the unpredictable nature of fate and focusing not on prevention, but on preparation. Then the unthinkable happens. Po, the clumsy noodle-loving panda, is chosen as the legendary dragon warrior. Absolutely no one believes it. The Furious Five are shocked. Shifu is furious, and honestly, even Po doesn't believe it himself. Shifu sees it as a catastrophic mistake and clings to his rigid idea of what a warrior should look like: strong, disciplined, and serious. But Oogway calmly asks him to let go of his expectations and simply trust the process. This moment highlights something we all face. People often judge us based on appearances, but our true potential lies much deeper than what anyone can see on the surface. This is when Oogway shares one of the most important lessons with Po. Focus on the present. He tells him, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. This shift in perspective changes everything. When Po stops worrying about living up to some impossible standard or trying to prove himself, he finally starts to improve. He's no longer paralyzed by the past or anxious about the future. He's just there, in the moment, learning step by step. His real power wasn't going to be found in some ancient scroll, but in his ability to be fully present. Just as Po starts to find his footing, Tai Lung's escape from prison becomes a reality. The tone of the story shifts immediately. The threat is no longer a distant possibility. It's a real and imminent danger. This new urgency forces Po to take his training seriously, and it forces Shifu to look at his student differently. Slowly, Shifu begins to notice that even though Po is unconventional, he is genuinely trying his best. The plot builds the tension, preparing us for the ultimate test that lies ahead. It's no longer a game. It's a fight for survival. Throughout this, Shifu is struggling. He's haunted by his past failures with Tai Lung and is obsessed with controlling the outcome to make everything perfect. But Oogway reminds him of a crucial Taoist principle. Events themselves are not inherently good or bad. It is our perception that gives them meaning. The key isn't to control everything that happens to you, but to learn how to respond when things don't go according to plan. This is a lesson about acceptance. Oogway's final ascension into the heavens, leaving behind a shower of peach blossoms, symbolizes his ultimate surrender to the flow of the universe. This moment solidifies one of the film's biggest truths. Life is unpredictable. The more you try to control every single detail, the more exhausting and frustrating it becomes. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means clearing your mind, releasing your anxieties, and allowing yourself to see the situation more clearly. It's about adapting to reality instead of fighting it. For Shifu, this is the hardest lesson to learn. But it's the one that will finally allow him to become the teacher Po needs. Once Shifu lets go, he finally learns that guiding someone isn't just about giving commands and demanding obedience. It's about offering support, demonstrating trust, and truly believing in their potential. His shift in attitude completely transforms Po's training. For the first time, Po feels like someone actually believes in him, and that belief acts as the fuel he needed to keep moving forward. Shifu stops trying to turn Po into another tigress and instead starts to understand what motivates Po, using his love for food to teach him Kung Fu in a way that makes sense to him. Po doesn't improve because of some magic potion or secret technique. He improves because someone finally takes the time to teach him in the way he needs to be taught. And Shifu grows too, learning to teach with flexibility and compassion instead of just rigid discipline. It's a powerful reminder that even masters have to evolve. Growth is a two-way street. By opening himself up to a new way of thinking, Shifu not only unlocks Po's potential, but also heals his own past wounds and becomes a better version of himself. Then comes the big reveal, the secret ingredient of the Dragon Scroll. After all that struggle and anticipation, the scroll is blank. It's a mirror. The secret ingredient, as Po's father explains about his noodle soup, is nothing. There is no secret ingredient. The power was never in some external formula or ancient artifact. It was always inside Po. The scroll was just a symbol to help him realize it. This is the moment he finally sheds his self-doubt and steps into the role of the Dragon Warrior, fully and completely. The final battle between Po and Tai Lung is more than just a fight. It's a clash of philosophies. Tai Lung represents someone who is desperate for external validation. He believes his worth comes from a title, the Dragon Scroll. Po, on the other hand, is now fighting for purpose to protect his home and the people he loves. Their confrontation shows that who you become isn't determined by where you started or what you were told you should be, but by the choices you make and the values you embrace. In the end, Kung Fu Panda circles back to its core Taoist idea. True growth requires trust in the process. There are no shortcuts, no secret formulas, and no magic wands. There is only effort, openness, and time. It's about letting go of the illusion of control and having faith in your own journey, no matter how unconventional it may seem. The story closes with a concept famously articulated by Bruce Lee. Be water, my friend. Water adapts. It moves. It flows around every obstacle without losing its nature. It doesn't fight the world. It moves with it. That's how Po becomes the Dragon Warrior. He stops trying to be something he's not and learns to be flexible, adaptable, and true to himself. And that's how any of us can move forward, especially when we're willing to embrace change and flow with the currents of life. Thanks for watching.